Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by. Because we're hanging out with Shane Mahoney, the travel guy. Shane, I'm glad you're here there, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Kenner. I appreciate that.
We get to talk about travel. Obviously everybody loves to travel, but some people don't like the headache of putting travel together. And I'm assuming that's exactly what you're going to talk about today, right?
Not only that, but it's my opinion that most people who are planning their own travel are going to sell themselves short in terms of the overall experience that they can have.
Mm.
So yes, to answer your question, it's 100% about leveraging your time and assets, but it's also about not selling the experience short because, in my opinion, we spend a great amount of time working. So when we're going on vacation, it's really not the time to scrimp dollars here and there. It's time to go big on experience and really dive into what you love, while mixing it with a different culture and a place. So that's kind of what we specialize in.
So I'm going to play a little devil's advocate. Actually, no. Oh my gosh. Before that, tell us about you personally and how to get a hold of you. I would have forgotten that. Jeez.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thanks. I'm really easy, actually. So you can find all of our web properties. You can get on my calendar. You can give me a call all through ShaneMahoney360.com. So ShaneMahoney360.com is all things Lugos travel and what we do. And you can find out a lot more about me and us.
Okay. And how do I spell Shane Mahoney, by the way?
Of course. Yeah. Shane, Shane. Mahoney is like M-A honey, and 360.com.
Got it. All right. Thanks. That was important. So, okay. Let's go back to what I was saying. So, no, actually, I'm going to play devil's advocate. So let's just say, and I know you're going to be quick in your feet here. And I say, well, wait a minute. I can take care of my own travel. I don't need Lugo's travel or anyone else. What do you say besides the time? What do you say to that?
So what we run into at this level is really not necessarily people booking their own travel, although that happens. It also could be you have a virtual assistant or an executive assistant who books your travel for you. What we would say to that is that one, if anybody is doing that, reach out to me and we'll give you a free resource that you can use with your executive assistant for helping them book your travel better. And because we're really confident that we ask questions that you and them will never consider. So at least what we can do is create the best possible scenarios. However, that being the case, executive assistants and virtual assistants do not have the over a decade of experience with international travel that I and my team do. And they are simply not going to do the job that gets done. And here's the thing is, if you look at booking travel as clicking a bunch of buttons on your mouse, buy a hotel, buy a flight, and things like that, well, yeah, anybody can do that. But that's not what we do. What we do is we create an experience where, quite literally down to the minute, I can predict when you're going to be smiling and why. And that is all about logistics, preparations, having 24/7 emergency support on the ground where you are, so that as train strikes happen, let's put it this way, right? Kenner, if it's 8 a.m. for you and you're in, say, Italy, and you show up at the train station, and it's that moment that you find out the train station went on strike at 2 a.m. that morning, you're going to call your executive assistant. And by the way, it's going to be 2 a.m. if they're on the East Coast for them, right? And you're going to wake them out of a slumber and you'll be like, solve this problem for me.
Yeah.
Well, they are completely and utterly out of their depth. They don't have the time, the resources, or the information that it takes to be able to solve that problem in real time. And all the time that they are spending trying to learn how to fix that problem, you, the client, are sitting there on your butt, not knowing what's going to happen, how are you going to get to your next hotel. You checked out of the other hotel, so you can't go back there. Like, all these things are happening in real time. And here's what's reality of that situation is your stress just literally goes straight up through the roof, right?
Yeah, totally.
Well,
Yep.
here's what the difference is with our company. At 2 a.m., when the train company went on strike, our company was immediately notified. We have people on staff to be able to automatically take that. And so, what would happen with every single one of our tours when you have your luggage is we provide a private car. So, a private car was going to pick you up that morning to take you to the train station. So, at 7:30, you get into the private car just like you expected to. At 8 a.m., and here's what happens: the driver then tells you, hey, by the way, there was a train strike. So we're, instead of taking you to the train station like we initially planned, we're actually going to take you to the next destination directly. And since it's kind of a far trip, we've gone ahead and built in a lunch in a great little town along the way. You're going to have an hour or two to be able to walk around and check out this entirely new tour and city that you didn't expect to. And you're still going to get to the other hotel on time for you to be able to have your tour.
No, I
That
understand.
is what you get from us, and that you're not going to get that from any other way. So
I understand.
we
Yeah,
anticipate and solve problems oftentimes before our clients even realize there was a problem.
I understand. So basically, your white glove service,
Correct.
which is, yeah, it's a premium service with you guys, and that's important to note. So this my next question. Well, we here at vastsolutionsgroup.com, we do a lot of artificial intelligence (AI), and we've been doing it for years. We're not new on the block. We've been doing it since 2018, by the way. And we use that to lower tax liability and also, help with finances for clients, usually solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. So what about the people who say, even though this might be in line with my last question, what about the people who say, AI can do pretty much everything for me, exclusive of what you just mentioned about the safe, I don't know, the emergency issues. But what about that? What about people who say, I'm just going to let AI do everything for me instead of me doing it myself, as an example?
Sure. Well, let's not discount the emergency situation where
Right.
AI is not going to help you, because that
Right.
is happening more and more as we realize that over 1 billion people are traveling internationally every single year. And we're talking only at the luxury level. Um, and over $1 trillion per year is being spent at the luxury level alone.
Yeah.
So you, as a client or as a person, don't realize that you are in constant uh, competition for resources of guides, hotels, and
Mhm.
all manner of logistics from A to Z. So AI might be able to tell you to go stay at this hotel, but they're not going to make sure that you get the right train schedule. They're not going to ensure that you book
Yep.
it on the correct day. One of the common mistakes that happens in booking European travel is you leave on day one, you get there on day two. Well, people usually schedule that hotel for day one, and because they aren't even there yet, it's canceled by the time they get there. They can't get it back because somebody else got that room because, like I said, competition. And so now you've got all these logistical problems. So it's really about providing an experience that AI can help you like do research. And to be
Mhm.
quite frank, we use AI for our newsletters and blogs and things like that. Of course, we have vastly trained our AI to be able to focus down on the specifics of what our industry and what we do. Uh,
Mhm.
but that being said, there's a place for it, and it would be no different and no better than having your VA do it.
Mhm.
Because even though it can tell you like here's some great places to stay, it can't really help you book it. And even if it did help you book it, it's not going to make sure that you get the right room. And if it does make sure that you get the right room, it's not going to coordinate with the hotel and say, hey, this is one of our VIP clients, we need to get Kenner a room overlooking the fountain, or whatever, right? And so it's all of those extra minor steps. And again, that really comes back to the fact that we're not just clicking buttons, right? We have dedicated partners in 20 countries. We offer over 70 tours that you can have a proposal in less than 10 minutes. Now, Kenner, that is really part of the magic of using Lugo's Travel, is that we respect and value our clients' time more than anything, not just on the tour and the experience that they're going to have, but we actually have a process that we call a vacation from planning a vacation. Here's what the realities of buying travel really look like for everybody in the world that don't use Lugo's Travel. Every single company in the world has the exact same process, and it's a web form that leads to a phone call. Phone calls usually about 45 minutes to an hour long. And during that process, they're going to get your personal details, your preferences, and all these things, right? Then they're going to produce one proposal for you. If you ask for two proposals, they'll tell you, no, I'm sorry, you can have one. Okay. Because this is one of the most expensive parts of the process in travel right now, and it hasn't changed for over 60 years, right? So they're going to give you one proposal for the place that you want to go. And you, being like everybody else, is going to look at that proposal that you get 3 to 5 business days later, and you're going to say, this is great, but I'm going to change this, or this, right? And when you do, their company is going to take another 3 to 5 business days to get you a response. And usually that's not perfect either. And you usually get one more revision, creating what's usually a 3-week process in the booking process. Now, Kenner, that probably would be fine if most people were booking their travel 5, 6, 9, 8 months out, right? That's not the reality that we see. Most people are booking their travel about 2 months out. And so what happens is you introduce a 3-week process when you only have 2 months before the dates leave. And what happens is the stress level that starts here because you're 2 months out keeps inching up for clients, right?
Closer and closer.
Here's what I believe. I believe that people being people will take a bad plan over no plan at all. And so what we've seen is a rise in cruising or going back to a destination that you've been to before. Now, each of those have their own sets of problems, but essentially what we decided was during COVID, when we had 15-month forced vacation, we went back to the drawing board and we said, what are the most essential parts of a tour? And we created what we call the essential tour. And it's what any client would need, whether they've never been somewhere or they've been there 5 times. What we did is we distilled it down into a proposal process that we can deliver without having a phone call, without getting your personal information, and we can deliver that in less than 10 minutes on over 70 tours. Now, you get that information for free, and in the comfort of your own home, you can actually customize it yourself with your wife or spouse or whatever. And when you purchase, then you tell us when you want to go. We're the only company that has no blackout dates, and we do all tours only privately. So we don't mix you with anybody else. There's no group tours with us at all, which means that you and your spouse or you and your family or you and your friends get a completely private experience on any day of the year that you want to, with no change in price and full information in less than 10 minutes. That's what we offer.
Yeah, I like that. I like what you offer. So let's get to the good stuff. What are some, going backwards and forwards. So what's the coolest place that you guys arrange trips to? I know that's a weird question, but I'm just trying to think. Here I am in an office. I'm in Seattle where it's normally rainy. And I'm thinking, well, wow, maybe Lugo's Travel and Shane could, get me set up in some really cool location. Go.
So we have over 70 tours in 20 countries, and I would say all of them are great for different reasons and different people, depending on where you want to go and what kind of weather you want to have and what kind of things you want to experience. But I mean, if you're asking me what some of my favorite vacations have been, I loved driving 600 horsepower Baja trucks in Cabo San Lucas with
Cabo.
a 5-mile loop. But I also loved driving Ferraris on a closed track in Italy. I loved taking a flight in a P-51 Mustang over World War I battlefields in Belgium.
Huh.
I love history, and World War I is like kind of my jam as that goes. So our Eastern Europe, Eastern France, and Belgian tours be able to kind of dive into that part that I really love.
Yep.
I love the food culture of Italy and France, and I go at least to those countries once a year. I love to ski, and I do that once a year in the French Alps. I was literally yesterday in Peru, so I just got back yesterday, and that was my first time there. But like as you can see from my slide, Machu Picchu, that was
Mhm.
amazing, absolutely incredible.
Huh.
Like it's just like you can hold your hand inches from a rock that's hundreds of years old, and you can just feel the energy coming off it. It's absolutely insane. So I've had a lot of really great vacations that for me are kind of workations, but
Yeah. The kind of cool thing about that, you get to, by the way, get a deduction pretty much anything you do, anywhere you go. Let's
that is
remember
true.
that, because
That
it
is
can be
true.
construed as research. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. You guys can set up high end trips that are white glove, and so the client basically is saying, here, you take care of me to a certain
Here's
extent.
what
At
I
least
think,
that's what it
Henner.
sounds like.
Here's what I think. I think your vacation should start when you leave your house, not when you get to your destination.
Yeah.
So with 100% of our tours, we have a private car show up at your house and take you to the airport. That's included with our service, and we do that at all points that you have your luggage. So basically, if you can have your passport and you don't even need to pack, as long as you can have your passport and show up at your front door when I tell you it's to be ready, literally the rest of our tours are on easy street. You can just cruise through. So essentially what we did, to kind of go back to something we spoke about before, I took the model of cruising where you make one decision and then it's all kind of done for you. And I applied that to land tours. And I did that very specifically because cruising in other countries typically only um, uh, shares $3 out of every $100 that you spend with the location that you're going to see. So
Mm,
you're as a traveler, you're basically a tourist, not a traveler. And as a
mm,
tourist, you're not contributing to that place in any way, shape, or form. And you actually sell yourself completely short because you end up eating all your meals on board. Meaning that I've had people that go to Italy on a cruise and they ate cruise Italian food when they could have been eating real Italian food. And I'm not going to joke, the difference is gargantuan.
I'm sure it's huge. Yeah.
It's
Got
not
it.
even the same. It's forget like not being this, it's not even the same sport. Like it's not even close.
Yeah. And I guess because it's white glove service, I assume if a client wants to say, hey, you take care of everything, you do everything, Shane, you can do that. Or I need some help. I'm going to Peru as an example. Um, will you walk me through it? And it sounds like you've been to a lot of places. You have a lot of probably contacts with boots in the ground, so you can help them, or in this example, help me walk through the process of that vacation and planning it.
Yeah, we have two ways of basically doing our tours. Our standard tours, like I said, over 70 of them for you to choose from. They basically cover the highlights that anybody and everybody would want it to. So we have like 15 tours in Italy, for example, that cover
Mm,
lots of different cities, different amounts of days and stuff like that, right? Most people are going to take that off the shelf product and say, this is great. I love it. Let's go.
mhm.
However, there's definitely people who we service who want a completely custom tour,
Right. Yeah.
start to finish. So, most of our tours are $15,000 to $20,000 on average for two people for 7 to 10 days, in lots of different locations. There's definitely
Mhm.
some exceptions to that. That being said, custom tours, we basically have a floor of about $25,000 and up, where most of them can run into six figures. We just had a 3-person family that went to Italy for 12 days and they were at 120,000. And we did a lot of really magical stuff. So, what does that mean? Well, like instead of taking a 3-hour car ride from Rome to the Amalfi Coast to take a tour of the Amalfi Coast that day, we had a helicopter pick them up with 2
Mhm.
pilots and go straight to Amalfi Coast, land, do the tour, come back. So when you start getting into those levels of things, you definitely want to be one of our custom clients where we can offer yacht charters, home charters, plane charters, and add high-end amenities. But honestly, there's we start 100% of our tours with 4-star hotels, very nice one, boutique style. We always do at least one category room upgrade. So you're always at least in a superior or deluxe room. But that
Mhm.
being said, we have 4 levels to upgrade that. And it goes all the way up to a super premium 5-star junior suite or suite. So, we have all kind of levels of hotels covered where we can go from, the Brunelleschi in Florence, for example, to the St. Regis or Four Seasons and things like that. So
I gotcha. So yeah, wow. um, I totally get it. So then what's an example of, someone who was, this is going to be a weird question. Again, I like asking weird questions. Someone who's grumpy, and you probably know this, and all of a sudden they came back the happiest client in the world. I guess what I'm trying to say is give me an example of someone you've turned their life around. And I know it sounds corny, but I'm just thinking of it like someone who's whatever, lost a child, and all of a sudden you've turned their world around because now they're rocking it and so happy as a result of their vacation with you guys.
so I mean, in we're blessed that we're 13 years in and we have yet to have less than a 5-star review.
Nice, dude. That's a big, yeah, nice.
So we don't even know what a 4-star review looks like so far. I'm, you know, maybe it'll happen someday, but 13 years in, we've made a lot of people happy. We've done a lot of anniversaries, we've done weddings, we've done,
Mm,
um, you know, birthdays and celebrations of all kinds. We're honored that our clients trust us with those types of special moments, and we look
mm,
at it as an opportunity to wow them. But like let's say for example, a wedding we did custom client and we did it in Key West. So
mhm.
we coordinated the logistics of flying in 27 people from different parts of the country to surprise. This was one of the weirdest things that I've done. Okay. Uh,
Okay. That's what I'm looking for.
So so it was a couple and the gentleman wanted to surprise his partner with a Friday night surprise birthday with all of his family that he had flown in from different parts of the country.
And he didn't know, the
He had
partner didn't
no
know that
idea.
was, yeah, yeah, I like
He,
this. Yeah.
he thought they were going with one other couple friends of theirs, right?
No.
So that was the Friday night. Then the groom wanted to surprise him with the surprise engagement on Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
Then he wanted a surprise wedding on Sunday.
Oh, that would have sucked, by the way, if the partner said no. But anyway, keep going.
I said that too, but they had been together a really long time, and
Yeah,
felt,
I'm sure.
he felt
That's yeah, that's not something to be taken lightly, I'm sure. Anyway,
so
keep
like
going.
so logistically. Here's what we did: is we rented out a great hotel. We coordinated the flights and transportation to the hotel for everybody. We did a private rental of the Key West Express trolley, and we rented out a restaurant. So they showed up for uh the 4 people showed up for the dinner they thought they were going to have at the restaurant, and we had everybody sitting there waiting, lots of fanfare, drinks, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The second day for the engagement, we rented out the entire Key West Garden Club right on the water. We had a special spot for them to get engaged in. We had a catered dinner for everybody, with a guitar player playing their favorite songs and things like that. So I mean, a magical moment. We had brought in lights and the whole thing
Oh
was
no way.
really magical. And then for the wedding, we rented an 80-foot clipper ship, had catering on board, and a steel drummer. We had an officiant on board, and we just happened to time it with 4th of July. So it was the 4th of July. So they got married, and then literally we watched the 4th of July fireworks from the boat over the water, and it was absolutely magical. And that's, like a fraction. We did all the transportation by private Key West trolley, and coordinated the drinks, the food, the cigars. Like we did it all.
I totally get what you guys do. You guys could do everything soup to nuts with a luxury bent to it. Not even a luxury bent. It's luxurious. So wow. And do you guys? It sounds like you do special events. Well, what about big corporate deals? You guys do those as well?
So we have an entire division for that. It's called an incentive travel. So if you're a business owner and you'd like to incentivize your sales team to hit specific goals, if you're looking to do a board retreat or things like that, then you'll work with us. We'll put together something custom depending on the amount of people, the time of year, where you want to go. But yeah, we basically handle logistics. I mean, essentially we are a logistics company
Yep.
that expresses ourselves with travel. If we need to move people and make things happen, and we've done, all kinds of things that don't necessarily exist as actual options. Like we had coordinated with a running club that wanted to do are you familiar with Gasparilla in Tampa?
No, I don't think so.
So Gasparilla is this huge like pirate festival. It's celebrating the pirates coming into the bay in Tampa Bay. They do a night parade, they do a day parade, they have a marathon, they have like all kinds of festivities for like I think 2 weeks. And so in coordination with the marathon, we helped a client who wanted to put together a running cruise. And so we coordinated the cruise boat, and then at each port, they wanted to do a running styled event. And so we were the very first, and as far as I'm aware, the only company that coordinated having a running event at Mayan ruins. So most people just go visit the Mayan ruins. We actually coordinated an actual run at the Mayan ruins and stuff like that. So, we get, have your AI do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would never work out. Yeah, I understand.
We had a couple that wanted to visit the Vatican, and they were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they were very Catholic, and they wanted to meet the Pope, and they asked if we could do that.
Whoa!
I did try. I didn't get it done.
Yeah.
But what I did
Order, really? Like, hold on. Who thinks that you could actually set up a meeting or a hangout or whatever with the Pope? I mean, no offense to that couple, but come on.
It was a tall order. I'm not going to lie. The funny thing was we had another couple a couple of weeks later that actually did meet the Pope. So it's not impossible.
Wait a minute, hold on. And you guys actually arranged for it or no?
No, that was just a total accident. They just happened to be at the right place at the right time. But what we did for the original couple is we had a papal proclamation hand drawn on a scroll by the Catholic Church and delivered to the couple about 2 months after they came back from their trip.
Dude, nice work. That in itself is impressive.
Yeah. So we like to think that we go above and beyond to create experiences for people. My bar for success is a high bar. I want people to remember what we do for them for the rest of their life from a happy perspective, not from a like, I can't believe this went wrong. And to be fair, things in international travel can and do go wrong. But we're here to be able to help fix that and create the best possible scenario out of whatever might happen. And that's to the heart of like, yeah, you could click some buttons, but in an emergency situation, now you're at work. You could get your VA to do it, but then are they going to be there for you when you need them to? Or you can get AI to do some of the scale planning, but it's not going to be as deep. It's not going to be as detailed. It's not going to be as good. And they're still not going to have emergency use.
Yeah, plus they're going to make a mistake. You might end up, and I fully admit, you might be intending to go to Spain, then somehow the AI makes you go to Kentucky or something. No offense, Kentucky, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I totally get it. Actually, it's the emergencies. It's the white glove service. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a great experience and you don't want to take up any of your time, my focus is, when I'm not working, my focus is on my son and my wife. So if your focus is just like that. If you want to take more time, dedicate for more moments with your family, then you want to hire us because we're going to create a great experience for you without it taking you a bunch of time. Because if you're like most business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives, you're probably working till what, 6 o'clock at night. By the time you get home, you have dinner, you put the kid to bed, you go over the homework or whatever. It's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And those are some of the first moments you have with your spouse. Do you want to bring that energy into opening up your laptop and finding what your vacation is going to be like? And then do you want to further at like 11 o'clock be coordinating which hotel are we going to use? This one has 500 4.3 stars. This one has 600 4.4 stars. This one's this far from the city center. This one's do you want to be doing all that contrasting and comparing? Or are you like what most people want, which is you want to just walk out your front door and have an amazing experience, knowing that you didn't have to spend more than 10, 15 minutes figuring it out?
I love the idea of walking out, making sure there's a car there for me, getting on it. The trip starts then. I like that versus getting to the location because it's a hassle. No, you add a lot of value. So,
well, like think about it this way, right, Kenner? I didn't mean to cut you off, but like yesterday. Okay, so yesterday at 1 p.m., I landed in the Orlando airport. Okay, now if anybody has driven I-4 traffic, you know that it's like considered one of the most dangerous roads on the planet. And my house is roughly an hour and a half away from Orlando. Okay, so let me backtrack and tell you what my day was like to get home. I woke up the day before, Tuesday, at 9 a.m. Central, I'm sorry, 7 a.m. Central Time. At 9 a.m., I was doing tours. At 2 p.m., or I'm sorry, 1 p.m., I had a 3-hour lunch at a badass restaurant, full tasting menu, ridiculous. At 4:30, at 4, I finished lunch. At 4:30, I got in a car and I went to the airport. I checked into the Cusco airport at 5 p.m. At 7 p.m., I took an hour and a half flight to Lima. I waited 3 hours in the airport. Then I got a 6.5-hour flight to Houston. I waited 2 hours in Houston, and then I flew another 2.5 hours to 1 p.m. To get to Orlando. Now, knowing that I had basically been up since 7 a.m. the day before, and it's now 1 p.m. the day after, is that the kind of energy that you want to bring to navigating the parking lot, getting keys, loading your bags, getting on I-4 traffic, and driving home? Is that even safe for you and your wife and your family to be doing? No,
probably not.
What does it really look like with my clients? You show up at the airport, you go to baggage claim, you meet your driver, they take your bags, they show you to your car, you get in the back, and you just chill out. Hell, if you want to, I'll have a bottle of champagne in there if you want.
I love it. I love that. I love your energy. Speaking of energy. So one last time, how did someone get a hold of you?
Shane Mahoney, 360.com.
I love it. I love it. Shane, it's been indeed a pleasure. And I can tell with your energy, how you are, you're going to add value to a lot of people who need to do that travel. Obviously, travel is very, very important. Everyone wants a vacation, needs a vacation to unwind, especially in today's world. So anyway, I really appreciate you being here.
Can I tell you the number one thing that I value about travel?
Yeah, please.
A friend of mine actually told me this, and if you're speaking to business owners and entrepreneurs and executives, this is the shortcut that he is a $10 million plus year business. Okay. He said, vacations are the way that I've increased my profits in my business more than anything else. And I was like, I'm listening. He goes, here's what's up. He goes, as a business owner, our chief job is to install systems and processes such that the business could run without us. He's like, but if you never leave your business, you never know what's going to break. He's like, so you force yourself to take a vacation so you see what's going to break. When it breaks, you come back, you fix that break, you take another vacation, you see what breaks. You keep doing that enough times, and essentially now everything is fixed. It runs without you. And when that happens, you've unlocked the secret to being able to live the life that you want to live, going wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go there, with a business that supports you financially and otherwise, so that you can spend more time with your family. And if that's your goal, we'd love to be your travel company to support that mission.
Wow. On that note, that's a good way to stop. A good way to end it. I really appreciate it once again. And for all you people out there who are listening, watching, really, really, I mean, take note and please do get a hold of Shane, because it sounds like he can add value to a lot of the people who are watching and listening to this. Once again, my name is Kenneth French. I'm with VastSolutionsGroup.com. You've been watching and listening. The Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Thanks totally for hanging out, you guys.